Last couple guys off and right it.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to do a test run?
Yep.
So, if we're taking sound pickup, these are, there's speak right into them. Yep. I'm sorry? Yeah. Buddy? All right. Everybody settled in? Yeah. Well, thank you for all coming out on a beautiful sunny Saturday morning. We'll try to keep this, less than 6 or 7 hours for you, so you can enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah. But something new that the board tried to decide. Wednesday nights are kind of hard for folks sometimes, working and families. So we said, well, let's try a Saturday and see what happens. So we appreciate you all coming out and interest in the budget and whatnot. So I'm going to call for the pledge, and we're going to hand everything over to Becky down there to start the meeting. So would you all please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Becky, it's all yours. Yep.
Good morning. So I call this second half of our town meeting to order. Our moderator has already been sworn in because we do the first half of our town meeting on Tuesday with elections. We're voting with the clicker system again. Some of you may be new to that. I have a couple of test votes just to show people how they work. I want you to be able to think about the question, but we have to kind of move it along because it will only think about you're thinking about it for so long. That makes any sense? So without any further ado, Miss Lorraine, you're the moderator.
I'm going to do a test with the clicker.
Yeah, no, you can come up here. Everybody did pick up a clicker, right? Everybody checked in. You got a clicker and a purple card. You need one, Jen? Just wait a second. Make sure everybody gets it. Do we have to have a vote on the question to use the clickers? No. We've done that already. Okay. All right. Everybody ready?
See what flavor ice cream is the voter's favorite. Press 1 for vanilla and 2 for chocolate. Now the deal is you can press back and forth, but the last number you press, 1 or 2, is the one that's going to register. So, and a little green light will come on in the upper left-hand corner when you're registering. Okay.
For chocolate.
All right. We have more than 21 people here voting. All right. Do you like strawberries? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Yeah, we have 30 people, that's it. All right, a lot of people like strawberries. Bad year for the crop this year, sorry about that. Too much rain. All right, everybody got it with the clickers? Okay, and do we all have a copy? It's either in the annual report when you picked it up towards the back in the colored paper, or you got a separate one? All right, we're going to start with Article 11. I can, this mic, and if you come up to speak, you'll use that microphone and get as close to your mouth with the mic as you can. It's not necessarily for the room, part of it is, it's for the people at home. This is being videoed. Thank you, Larry Seidlinger and LCTV. Pardon? Right. The open town meeting starts on page 3, I think it is, with Article 11. To see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for general government. The Budget Committee recommends $1,113,295.90, and the Select Board recommends $1,110,595.90. Do I hear a motion? Or
second.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so your move is for the selectmen? All right, is there any discussion regarding a motion?
Lorraine, I can clarify the difference between the Budget Committee's recommendation and the Select Board's recommendation. At the time, the Select Board recommended the $1,110,595.90. There was a discrepancy, or not a discrepancy, but the town was waiting for the software package pricing to come back for Trio. So the Budget Committee, I think, was able to reference that number. If we could back up, the Select Board would have recommended the 1.113, the same as the Budget Committee, but we didn't have the numbers at the time for the recommendation, so that's the difference there. I don't know if the Budget Committee has any more to speak on that. Yep. So, just for clarification on the differences, so, yeah.
Which are we voting on?
Well, we're voting on the Select Board recommendation. If we want to have the money, if I'm understanding this right, for the software package, we would have to vote this down and then
Yes.
move
yeah,
in the Budget Committee recommendation.
At the time, the Select Board would have recommended the difference, but the numbers weren't back yet for that software yet, so it was a little bit of a guesstimate, so we're low on that.
Yes, question?
Yes. Is it possible for the person to rescind their motion so we don't have to do another vote?
It's going to take us like half a minute to vote. All right, if there's no other discussion, 1 is for yes, 2 is for no, and we're voting on whether to accept the lesser fee at this point. All right, the noes have it. Okay. Do I hear another motion? John, you want to? Nope. Okay. Somebody back here? Yes, Dick. What? Budget Committee? No, the Budget Committee? Yeah. All right, we have a second for that? Couple of seconds, all right. Any? Don't make it worse.
Can you read your purple cards, because I can't get the computer to understand to revote this question, so.
Just for this one question? Okay.
Just for this question.
Okay, just for this question, the computer is having trouble. So if you're in favor of accepting the Budget Committee recommendation of $1,113,295.90, raise your purple cards. Okay. If you're opposed? No, it's going to... No, we don't need to count yet. Okay. If you're opposed to that? Okay.
It passes.
The budget committee passes, yes. All right, back to the clicker system. All right, Article 2, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for the police department. The budget committee and the select board both recommend $823,140. Do I have a motion? So moved. Second? Second, all right. Anyone to speak for or against this? Do you want to stand up to the mic because the people at home can't hear you? Thanks, Amy.
Sure. I'm Amy. Doing the math, it looks like it's 25,000 more. And I just wonder why? Where it's going to, because there isn't a lot of transparency in the budget other than reading your report that says we have 5 officers. I know someone's left and you probably replaced them. Is this for, I mean, what's the 25,000 for?
Daryl?
Oh, I'm pulling up the question. Chief, can I, do you have anything, while I'm flipping through the air, do we mind? Yeah,
Yes.
do you mind me pulling you up on that one? Sorry.
I can lower it down. You say it's not funny, stop laughing. No. So I don't have all my figures in front of me, but simply the union contract came up. We do 3-year union contracts, and Andy has now gotten in front of how this new contract works, because what we did was there were essentially no pay raises for 3 years, so we were constantly playing catch up. So, year 1 of our union contract is X amount of dollars per hour, and then unless they had longevity, meaning they hit that 3-year, 7-year, 10-year, 15-year mark at the time, they might go 3 years without a pay raise. So the new union contract that they entered into does yearly pay steps, so we're not being hit with a all of a sudden $25,000 or $30,000 increase after 3 years. It's going to be broken up, so every year it might only be a 0.5% pay increase versus well, why is it $25,000? And then anytime there's an increase to an officer's salary, then we have to increase, obviously, all the other things that go with it, which is the health insurance line and the Social Security and all the other things that simply increase. So it was actually, I'm not going to say small because I'm not a taxpayer here, so I'm not trying to say that, but compared to some years past, we actually had a little bit smaller increase.
Yeah,
that's pretty much
that's
the
it in a
cover, really.
nutshell. Yeah.
It's simply union stuff that are kind of out of our control, or mine at least.
The collective bargaining contract.
Okay, any other questions or discussions? Yes, did you, Mike?
Hi, my name is Jenny Began. I just think we have a really big police department for a very small town.
Any other comments in regards to the budget proposal? All right, seeing none, we're back to the clickers? Yes. All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Please vote. Motion passes. Okay. All right, Article 13, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for public safety. This includes animal control, fire, emergency management, hydrants, streetlights, traffic lights, and CLC ambulance. The Budget Committee recommends, and the Select Board both recommend, $435,665.01. Okay. Do I have a motion for that? So moved. A second? Second. All right. Discussion.
Lorraine, for perhaps this and future articles, we make sure that the dollar amount or the recommendation of one of those bodies is noted as part of the motion? Because the article is to see what sums, we should be very clear that they're...
Oh, sorry. To see what sum the town will vote to raise in public safety, and Dick, you made the motion? Somebody did. Oh, you did. That's correct. Sorry about that. So your motion is to, for public safety, I need my glasses here. I'm sorry, $435,665.01. Is that correct? Yes. All right. Okay. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor of the public safety as recommended? Motion passes. Article 14, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for public works. This would include the highway department, the cemetery, and Biskie Beach. And the budget committee is recommending $779,778, and the select board recommends $779,773. A discrepancy of $4.25. Do I?
Lorraine, if I may, I'll speak to the difference in that. That's just, it was a rounding difference.
Okay.
So it's not a significant change in
No.
the budget amount, sorry. Yep.
Hell, I'll give you the $4. That's what it comes to. Okay, do we have a motion for either the budget or the select board committee recommendation? Or anything else, yes. You are correct, yes. Got it. Got it. All right, do I have a motion in regard to funding for the public works? Sir?
To accept the budget committee recommendation of $779,778.
Okay. Do we have a second for accepting the budget? Okay. Right, thank you, Dick, yeah. Do we have any discussion in regards to this? Amy?
I'm just going to say from here.
No, because the people at home can't hear you.
Need the mic, sorry.
Okay, I'm just asking why it's going up $93,000? That seems excessive. And I know everything has gone up, but if I would appreciate an explanation as to why that amount.
Amy, speaking, a large amount of this is, I believe, in the highway department budget, bringing that up too. So the highway department, historically, it's been kept on a really kind of a shoestring budget, and we're trying to play catch up with that right now to meet the needs of the town, you know, the logistics and whatnot. So a lot of that is coming up in that highway department budget across the board. Yeah.
So over half of that increase, 55% of it, or $45,000 is earmarked for plow contract, for both the downtown contract and the highway plowing contract.
Those numbers are all different, though. The plowing contract is because Hager is no longer doing it. I mean, have those numbers changed considerably?
That should be going out to bid this week, so we'll know what the bid price would be in about a month if we get that out. So we need a dollar amount to afford us to be able to pay for plowing this winter. So I'm just saying, of the numbers presented and being asked today, that was the increase that was planned at the time the budget was put together by contract at that time. But so of the 70,000 you just mentioned,
93.
again, 45,000 of the 93 was specifically the raise that they considered for plowing costs.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussions in regards to this motion? All right, all those in favor of the motion, which was to accept the budget committee recommendation, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right. Okay, to see what, Article 15, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for community services, recreation, and holiday funds. Both the budget and select board committee have recommended $3,000. We have an motion regards to an amount for community services. Pat? You're recommending an amount? Pat, are you recommending an amount? Okay. Do we have a second for that? Thank you. Okay. Any discussion regarding this line item? All right, seeing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right. Assume it's passing? I can't see behind me very well. All right, Article 16, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate for debt service. This would include the bond issue for road and sidewalk improvements, which matures in 12 years, and the loan for the streetlight purchase and LED conversion, which matures next year. So, both the budget and the select board have recommended $201,975 for debt service. We have a motion as to an amount for debt service, sir. Okay, we have a second for that. Dick, okay. Any discussion on this? All right, hearing none. The amount recommended or moved is $201,975. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Motion has passed. All right. Article 17, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the Municipal Building Reserve. The Budget Committee and the Select Board have recommended $40,000. Do we have an motion for an amount? John? Okay. It's been moved for $40,000. We have a second. Dick, thank you. Any discussion regarding this? All right. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Thank you. Article 17 has passed. Okay, Article 18, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the fire station reserve. Recommendation is $50,000. We have a motion regarding this. Sir. Move the Budget Committee recommendation of $50,000. Is there a second? Dick, all right. Any discussion regarding this? All right, hearing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Article 18 passes.
Okay, thank you. Article 19, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the Highway Facilities Reserve. Both the Budget and Select Committee have recommended $50,000. We have a motion for an amount. Dick. Okay. Do we have a second? There, thank you. Any discussion regarding the fire station reserve? I'm sorry, highway, excuse me. Lost control here. All right, hearing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right, motion passes. Article passes, sir.
Yes, Article 19 passes.
All right, Article 20, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the fire truck reserve. Both the Budget Committee and the Select Board have recommended $100,000. We have an motion for the amount to be raised for the fire truck reserve.
I'll move the 100,000.
All right, and a second? Okay. Several seconds, all right. Any discussion regarding the fire truck reserve? John?
Good afternoon, I'm John Roberts with the Fire Department.
I'm sorry, you need to get closer to the
Get
mic.
closer. Pick it up out of there. Who uses that?
All the short people went first.
Is that better?
Perfect.
I just wanted to point out a near coming expense for fire trucks. Our budget request was $270,000, and that is the amount that we would need to not borrow funds for the upcoming replacement of the ladder truck. I'm not requesting a change from the $100,000, just wanted to bring up that next year we'll probably be looking to take out a bond in order to make that purchase. The cost of trucks has gone up 60% in the last 3 years. So right now, if we were to get a replacement ladder truck for the exact one that we have, which is a 2003, it would cost $1.6 million. And we're projecting a 10% increase a year, which over the last 3 years, as I've said, it has gone up 60% in 3 years. So that will come up to $1.76 million. So even if we funded the 270, it wouldn't get us to enough of a fund balance to complete the purchase. So I hate being the bearer of bad news, but that's the cost of what's happening with trucks right now. And it's taking about 3 years from when you order a truck for it to arrive. So.
How much do you have in reserve?
For folks, if you did pick a sheet up, we put the cap. So there was a capital reserve sheet. It's a single page. For folks that are interested in seeing that, tried to show you, where these balances are. So as of, it's projected for FY24. We're still finalizing FY23 audit. You see the appropriations for this year, what's been spent, what's been brought in. And so for the fire truck, the balance currently projected for the end of this fiscal year be $408,000, $408,425.09.
So is that including the 100,000 we're proposing, or?
That is the expected balance at the end of this fiscal year, which is June 30th, so it does not include what we're considering.
Okay.
So what we've done is we were budgeting for the replacement of 2 trucks, our frontline pumper and our ladder truck. And as a result of the increasing prices, we're recommending pulling the ladder truck forward. So because the year-over-year increase of that truck is more than what we've been budgeting. So every year that we wait for the purchase, even if we were putting $270,000 aside, we wouldn't really be making headway towards that purchase. And we are postponing the replacement of engine 1 indefinitely. So.
Thank you, Chief Roberts. All right, any other discussion? All right, hearing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right, Article 20 has passed. Article 21, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the fire equipment reserve. Budget and select board both recommend $15,000. We have a motion for an amount to raise and appropriate for the fire equipment reserve.
I'll move 15, Lorraine.
Okay, second? Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. You saying that in my sleep? Article 21 has passed. Article 22, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the police department reserve. The budget committee and the select board are both recommending $30,000. We have a motion. Dick? Is that for 30,000? Yes, okay, do we have a second? Dick, okay. It's been moved and seconded. For 30,000, do we have any discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right, we're trusting Miss Becky here.
Difficulties, Alan? Yeah.
Okay. All right, Article 23, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the highway truck reserve. Budget and select board have both recommended $35,000. Do we have a motion for an amount that the town would raise and appropriate for the highway truck reserve? Dick? All right, we have a second. So second back here. All right, any discussion on that item? Seeing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 23 has passed. Article 24, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the Highway Equipment Reserve. Budget Committee and Select Board both recommended $25,000. Do we have a motion for an amount that the town would raise and appropriate to the Highway Equipment Reserve? John? 25, a second? Okay, we've got a second over here. Any discussion on the highway equipment? All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Have to get a shirt next year that says 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 24 has passed. Article 25, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the sidewalk reserve. The Budget Committee and the Select Board have both recommended $70,000. Do we have a motion for an amount for the sidewalk reserve? Pat? 70,000, and do we have a second for that motion? Sarah, okay. All right, any discussion on that? Whoop. Oh. I thought you were going to talk again. Nope, you're done, huh?
Not only a fire chief, he does IT as well.
Cross-trained here.
Yeah, IT chief.
Thank you, Chief Roberts. All right. So, no discussion, I don't see on the sidewalk reserve, or does Chris want to?
It's not really a discussion on this particular one, but when we came up with the reserve on the fire truck, brought to mind that you used to have requested amount and then the recommended amount. And it would help people in the audience to see that whether you cut them back or what was requested, so that people could have made a better decision on the fire truck reserve.
All right, that's something to keep in mind for next year. Good point. Okay. All right, no other discussion on the sidewalk reserve motion for 70,000. 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Article 25 passes.
Okay, so Article 26 is to see if the town will create a bicycle infrastructure reserve. This reserve account will allow various projects outlined in the bicycle safety and accessibility resolution approved by the Select Board at their October 18th, 2023 meeting. I'm at a loss to know what this entails, Daryl.
Oh, sorry, Lorraine?
Okay, we have do we have a motion to create a bicycle infrastructure reserve?
Which means that we can put it in the budget for next year.
Okay, that's what, all right, we have a motion and we have a second, okay. And you want to explain what that means?
I can, actually, I might pick on Anton out in the crowd there.
I can, we can start with Y.
Yeah.
And if he wants to add to that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So for us to have, we need the voters to create the reserve accounts for us to then appropriate any funds, whether it's through taxation or donations. So there was a request to the select board made this year through a bicycle resolve to commit resources to improving bicycle safety and infrastructure in town. And so this was kind of the first step to at least create the reserve. So should monies come in during the year, we have an ability to allocate them to this reserve through the select board.
So it's just to create the fund at this point, but the funding issues will come up later, right? Okay. All right. Any other discussion or? All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right, we have created a bicycle infrastructure reserve. Article 27, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the paving, drainage, and maintenance reserve. Recommendations are $150,000. We have a motion regarding an amount for the paving, drainage, and maintenance reserve. Pat? All right, we have a second. Okay, gentleman over here. Any discussion on this item? All right, seeing none, all those in favor? 1, 2 for no. All right, Article 27 has passed. Article 28, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the technology reserve. There is a recommendation from the Budget and Select Board for $7,500. Do we have a motion for an amount for the technology reserve? Gentleman over here moved. 7,500. Okay. And second? Dick, all right. Any discussion regarding that? Seeing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 28 has passed. Article 29, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the comprehensive plan reserve. The Budget and Select Board have both recommended $2,500. Do we have an amount, a motion for an amount for the comprehensive plan reserve? 2,500 been moved. Is there a second? Sarah, okay. Any discussion regarding this?
I'm just wondering what budget that wall came out of that's in front of the cemetery? Is that the cemetery budget or is that something else?
Cemetery.
In part cemetery budget, and then any remaining funds that weren't included because they would have expended more than the balance there is coming out of their operating budget as well as Public Works operating budget.
Public Works.
Cemetery reserves, cemetery operating, and Public Works operating. Yep.
Okay,
All right, any other comments regarding the comprehensive plan reserve? Okay, 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Article 29 passes.
All right, Article 30, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the cemetery reserve. Okay, so you're recommending 25,000 is moving, and do we have a second? Patty, aren't you going to second this? All right, thank you. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Article 30 passes.
Okay, Article 30 passes. Article 31, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the property revaluation reserve. Budget Committee and Select Board have recommended $15,000. Do we have a motion regarding the property reevaluation reserve sum? Dick? All right, moved. A second? Okay, second. All right, any discussion regarding this item? Right, hearing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Sorry.
Article 31 passes.
Article 31 passes. Article 32, to see what sum the town will vote to raise and appropriate to the payroll liability reserve. Budget and Select Board have recommended $15,000. We have a motion as to a sum to be raised to the payroll liability reserve. Okay, 15,000 moved. Is there a second? Second, all right. Any discussion regarding this item?
What is it?
You want to explain what it is down there?
It wasn't there last year.
It wasn't, yeah. You can probably find better, I can, go ahead.
So it's a reserve account that already exists. We hadn't funded it in the last couple of years, but it will afford an opportunity should there be a payout of unused vacation time, a payout of any contract. I mean, our balance currently in that reserve is, I think $1,900.18. So there's not a lot there if we have to pay out the remaining of a year's, again, of unused time, contracts, that kind of thing. So it just gives us that ability without hitting the operating budget. We don't want to anticipate those types of things in the operating budget if we can keep the operating budget lower and have this reserve. Another thing that we're doing this year, when we budget for health insurance costs, because we cover up to 95%, and it's up to family coverage. There's quite a range depending on who's working for us and whether their circumstances change in a year or if we fill a position. So we're going into a budget kind of budgeting for the most it could be. And so what we did this year in the budget is pull those health insurance costs back in the operating budget. So in part, this line will allow us, if in a year we have an additional cost for a new hire or someone changes family status for the insurance, it'll allow us to be able to do that without having to come back or overspending the operating budget, and then we can correct it the following year.
Okay, anyone else? All right. 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Article 32 passes.
Okay, Article 33. Dick, this is the one we don't have any choice on, right? Okay. For those of you that are new, this assessment comes from the Lincoln County tax assessment. We have to vote on it. We have no choice, but we have to vote on it anyway. It's just is what it is. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $630,896 for the Lincoln County tax assessment. Budget and Select Board Committee have both recommended the mandatory amount. Do we have a motion? Pat McLean. All right, we have a second? Okay, a second. All right. All those in favor? 1 for yes or 2 for no?
Article 33 passes as written.
Okay, Article 34, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $726,800 from the estimated revenues to be applied to reduce fiscal year 2024 tax commitments. Both the Budget Committee and the Select Board have recommended the $749,975 amount.
I'll move the 749, 975, Lorraine.
Okay, we have a second? Seconded. Any discussion on this?
Can you change the figure? Because the article says 726.
Yeah, I think we have, don't we have to vote that down first?
I believe you can change the article.
Okay, so the original, he's got a question, and I think he's right. The original article says to see if the town will vote to appropriate $726,000. Do we not have to vote that down and then make a motion to the budget or select committee recommendation amount?
No, the way the article's written, you'd have to vote on that number. It's either yes or no, and then so you don't have the opportunity to see what's in this case. So that was probably an error on my part in typing that, because we had changed the revenue figure kind of at the last meeting of that process. So the one you're considering is 726,800.
Yeah, we have to vote on that one first, and then we can vote on a different amount if we wish, if we vote it down.
Well, my motion would be null and void, right?
If this doesn't pass, the only way to reconsider, my understanding, is to lower the number. I don't think you can raise an additional number when it's written this way.
I think we understand that. I think the question is, why is there a discrepancy?
That would be the
We need to know that before we can vote down the article.
So probably my error. When we went through the budget process, I think had determined the higher number, and then I had already pre-typed this and didn't go back and change that particular number there.
So it's really a typo, is what we're saying?
Correct.
So procedurally,
So I believe that, yeah, I made the motion for the 749, but I can't make that motion because it's not to see what sum, right? So does that voids my motion, correct? Maybe? Yeah, it's no, I mean, I'll rescind my motion.
okay.
Anyway.
So now we're,
It's not a valid motion.
okay, so now we have no motion on the floor because he's rescinded. All right. So,
So,
now,
you get a
yes,
handout.
sir.
I move that we vote on the $726,800.
Okay, second. And then if we wanted, I'm just clarifying for myself, so then if we needed to go to the 749, we would vote down the 726. Is that right?
You have to, right?
Yeah, the motion is not.
Okay, all right. Okay, 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Article 34 passes for 726,800.
And that, Andy, that motion, that could be revised at a special town meeting as well, correct?
If needed, right.
If they need to move it, so it's unfortunate typo, but if it needs to be revised later on, it's
Okay.
relatively simple. We just need to get everybody here again.
Okay, as long as we have a remedy, I'm happy. All right. Article 35, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $20,500 or any amount as received from the State of Maine Local Road Assistance Program to reduce the fiscal year 2025 tax commitment. We have a motion to appropriate this amount as
I'll move
received.
the article as written.
Okay, second? Number of seconds. Okay, any discussion on that? All right, all those in favor? One is yes? Whoops, sorry. Oh, I thought Patty was just exercising her legs.
I'm just questioning why Article
Closer to the mic, please.
Sorry, thank you. Just questioning why
why Article 34 says the 2024 tax commitment, Article 35 says the 2025 tax commitment.
Again, it got through apparently all of our review period. This was presented and went through a couple select board meetings, went through most of our staff, and we just didn't get it.
That help?
We all missed it.
This article's been voted on and passed. We'll have to revisit this with the select board following probably consultation with an attorney just to see what, what this means for us. So as far as that question goes, it has been voted and passed.
So the 25 is correct for Article 35?
That's correct.
Yes. Yeah, 34 is just, is FY24 in there. That was an error in review on all of our parts here, so.
So is 30, I'm confused, is 35 correct as written?
35 is correct as written.
Yes.
Okay.
FY 2025.
All right, so there is a motion on the floor regarding Article 35, which apparently is correct as written. All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 35 has passed. Article 36, to see...
We'll have to consult with the attorney just to see what implications it has, yes. Well,
Yeah.
Somehow
May need to be
they'll have to
reconsidered.
straighten it out. All right, Article 36. Oops, I'm sorry, Dick.
Going to, believing that we're allowed to do this, I'm going to move that we reconsider Article 34.
I don't think you can do it with the town warrant that's been published.
And I don't even know if this applies to that, but the only, that the thing we talked about before about passing the road. I
Done.
don't believe you can do that now. Okay, so we'll consult the attorney.
You're trying to remove the obligation
Right.
that you were now sitting with.
We'll get
it corrected.
Dealt with that. Yeah, absolutely. So it's an error on our end, and it'll
We'll have one of those special town
take care
meetings.
of
probably.
ASAP. Yeah.
If we don't reconsider the motion, though, we just approve reducing the tax obligation that we are creating. So we should reconsider the motion, which is to be made by someone who voted in favor. They can make a motion to reconsider, bring it up, we should vote it down.
I don't think we can now. I think it's already been moved, and
Someone who voted yes can make a motion to reconsider the question.
So you would have to make a motion to amend the article, well, reconsider the article, then there has to be, and a motion to vote, and then a motion to amend.
I don't think you can amend, but we can vote it down, so we're not,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
I'm going to return to my motion that we reconsider Article 34.
Did you vote in favor of Article 34 originally?
Pardon me?
Did you vote in favor of it originally? Okay, so he's qualified to do it then.
So there's a motion on the floor.
We have a motion to reconsider. Okay.
Number attached to it.
No, just to reconsider. And we have a second for that. Okay. All right. You're going to have to use your cards if you're in favor of reconsidering, just to reconsider that we're not on any numbers.
I just want to make sure everyone knows what's going on, because this is a little bit confusing.
Okay.
My understanding is that if we vote yes on the, we're reconsidering, so we're going to vote no.
No.
I'm not saying, I'm not telling people what.
The first vote is going to be whether or not we're going to reconsider it. That's where we are right now. Okay, then we'll get to the more complicated part. All right, all those in favor of reconsidering number 34, please raise your cards. Yeah, okay. The one that has some errors in it. Okay. Anyone opposed to reconsidering? A couple people. All right, we will now reconsider. That's right, we'll have to use our cards, that's all right. So, you want to make a motion on what you would rather see us?
Yes. Because the information quoted in Article 34 is incorrect. I move that we vote no for Article 34.
Well, that's not really a motion.
I think you're making a statement, right?
Right.
You're reconsidering it.
Okay, so I think what we would do then is you would move Article 34 as written and with the mistakes in it, which I understand is the amount and the tax year, right? And then we would vote no, and that leaves us. Is that clean?
Okay. For discussion purposes,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
I would like the people, voters in this room to consider voting no because of
The errors.
You have to make a motion and be seconded before they can be
all right, I'm making the motion.
He,
We vote on Article 34 as written.
yeah, he did that, and we had a second, right? Pat, you're seconding, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the second.
Yep.
Now we can have a discussion.
So, do you just need to go to the mic?
You should come to the mic.
If anybody wants to discuss, you need to go to the mic. Thank you. I'm trying to repeat.
Because in effect, what we did previously was authorize the selectmen to accept that amount of money for the current fiscal year that we are in. That was a mistake. It was not their intent. I don't believe it was, well, it was not my intent. And for that reason, I am recommending that we vote against Article 34 because it is incorrect, and so that they can deal with that issue in a subsequent meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. All right. Seeing no other discussion, one for yes and two for, oh, no, sorry. Oh, purple cards, that's right, you can't, my mistake, excuse me. So all those in favor of the motion as written, cards up. His motion is to accept it as written, because that's how we have to do it. We can't alter it. If you want them to reconsider it, then you will vote no in a second when we get to that. Is that just clear as mud?
No, we've already reconsidered it. Now this is the actual vote on.
Yeah, no.
Voting on it, yeah.
That's right. The article itself.
She has to call for all those in favor first, so.
Okay. All those opposed to Article 34 as currently written? Okay, motion on Article 34 has failed, and the matter will be referred back to the Board of
Yeah, so
Selectmen.
just to clarify, at this point, Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll revisit the motion, the article, and we'll have to rewrite the article, get it out for advertising, and hold a special town meeting to pass, or to consider this article.
Right.
Right, okay. And we'll do that as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll get to do that before the commitment.
Yeah, before the commitment. So we apologize for the discrepancy in the oversight. This went through many hands, myself included here. So I won't throw the manager under the bus, but yeah, we all looked at this and we all missed it. So I apologize. So,
Okay, we straightened it out, I think, sir. Sir?
So given that you brought this article before the town meeting, when you revise it, does the select board have the power to approve it on behalf of the citizens?
No.
No, they'll have a special town meeting
We'll have
in conjunction
We'll call for a
with.
special town meeting, and it'll have to get advertised as such, and we'll have to pass that warrant for the special town meeting. So you have to go through all the motions, but we'll do this as quickly as possible. That's the, get it done very quickly. Yeah. Well, we can hold the special meeting. It's going to depend on how quickly you can get it put together. So, yeah.
All right, so now we are on to Article 36. And thank you for clarifying that, Mr. McLean. All right, Article 36, to see if the town will vote to appropriate $150,000 from the undesignated fund balance to be applied to reduce the fiscal year 2025 tax commitment. The recommendations are $150,000. Do we have a motion with an amount to appropriate for the undesignated fund balance to be applied to reduce the 2025 tax commitment?
I move $150,000.
Okay, we have a second? Hello, yes, okay. Any discussion on that? Amy?
Just wondering where that money is and how much is in that fund? How much is in there? Undesignated fund that we're pulling 150. I'm all for it if we've got it, but where is that fund and how much money is in it?
Just checking right now.
I don't have this. This is the undesignated fund balance. So at the end of every year, if the money's not spent that's been appropriated, it sits in an undesignated fund balance. That is not the total amount of it. Looking at Cheryl, we don't have that figure in front of us today. When the board considered this last year at commitment, oh God, I'm going to guess here. We aim to carry 3 months, as the auditor's recommendation, our undesignated fund balance, 3 months of our total operating expenses. Right, so just to clarify, the undesignated fund balance serves a few purposes. One, in the case of the auditor's recommendation, would be to act as cash balance to be able to, as revenues come in at very different times throughout the year, and our bills have to be paid, right? It's like gives us the undesignated fund balance gives us the cash flow and the ability to pay without taking a tax anticipation note. Some towns might run their fund balance a little bit less, and you find that they end up paying interest on a tax anticipation note. So our fund balance is an important tool in cash flow. We follow the auditor's recommendation to have about 3 months worth of payments. I think it was about 1.3 or 4 million, but we can clarify and get back to folks at another selectmen's meeting.
Okay, any other discussion as to Article 36? All right, all those in favor? 1 for yes, opposed? No. 2. Okay. All right, Article 37. To see if the town will vote to increase the property tax levy limit of $2,412,575.50 established for Damariscotta by state law in the event that the fiscal year 25 municipal budget approved by the town will result in a tax commitment that is greater than the property tax levy limit. And if you haven't, we're going to take a second. Everybody should read the explanation. Do we have a motion to accept Article 37 as written? So moved. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on Article 37?
Oh, sure.
Amy, how did I know you'd come up?
You know, well, if we've got this big fat fund sitting there that will cover things when we have problems, why wouldn't that cover this if we needed the money? The one that we just voted on, where the 150 came from?
So the board, I think this limits the amount. You can get the funds to move the funds from the undesignated balance, but if I recall, there's a cap on what can be levied. So we remove the cap if there's more. That makes sense? Sorry.
So years ago, the state, right, there's a state statute that says, you know, towns aren't, you know, they don't want to see towns, counties, and schools leveraging more from one year to the next beyond kind of the growth factor. There's a lot that goes into the formula for this, but in a way to kind of control increased spending, this law had been passed. And so either you stay with the cap and say, no, it has to stay below that, we can't raise the next year beyond that amount, or the town can consider the article that will allow the town to raise more than that levy. Shouldn't say, I can't quote the LD, but I do believe that the statute will be different for next year's budget process. For municipalities, that LD1 requirement is not going to continue for next year's budget. But this gives us the ability, if we need to exceed that dollar amount, that this would allow us to do so. And I say if because, you know, we're still doing spring work. The assessors go out every year and look at properties, look at permits that have been issued, pick up new taxable value. Presumably we'll find some new taxable value through the building projects that have happened in the last year, and even 2 years ago if they weren't complete. So that number as it's presented there, 35,000, is what we have today before the spring work is completed. So it's possible that if there's enough value picked up through that work, we wouldn't be exceeding it. But this would allow us, if we exceed it, to do so. Right.
Okay, any other discussion? Yes, all right.
So as this is written.
You have to get close to the mic. It's not.
So as this is written right now, we're giving you guys, the administration, the ability to tax us more to the effect of 35,000 and change.
We're not, so that,
Right.
that dollar value there is representing how much above and beyond LD1 would limit us to raise taxation from last year.
Right.
It's not an additional expense beyond what's already been approved through the previous articles. It's just stating that with the numbers we have today, based on the assessments or the spring work they've done, we don't know that full new value. So the taxable value that we can levy against for the amount of money that we need to raise.
Okay, so it's a blank slate here at this point. So you don't really know what that number is going to be.
We don't know what the final number is for next year's leverage until
But
the
if we
spring work's
vote
done.
for this and it's over what the state says you can levy, then we're giving you the permission to tax us at, you know,
Well-
at the additional 35, no.
Pay for the articles that are being voted on.
Right. So,
Right, and I guess my
Yeah,
question
it's-
is, why wouldn't we have voted on this first?
so it's not
Because
a,
all of the rest of it goes out the window, doesn't it, if we don't pass this?
no, so this isn't an additional amount of money that we're levying against the residents and the taxpayers. This is stating, right, so when LD1 said, here's your value for 24, here's the amount of money you raised in 24 from taxation. In 2025, we don't expect you to exceed this percentage or this dollar amount. And so we're just saying, of all the articles that have just been approved for expenditure, if we find at tax commitment, after we pick up and realize new taxable value, that we will be exceeding LD1's limit, is allowing the board to reset that tax levy limit. As I understand it, as I understand it, the increase as of today with the information we have before commitment, it would be an increase, it would be higher than the levy limit.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? All right, one for yes, two, oops.
This requires a secret ballot.
Oh, it just, is it?
That's correct.
No, but this is, why does it have to be written?
The
It's
state law
clickers.
requires this to be by written ballot.
All right, I thought the clickers were,
Yes, if everyone votes yes, or someone person can write it down, unless everyone wants to write it down.
I thought the clickers were secret enough.
What's that?
Okay, so we will be using the secret ballots as handed out by Miss Becky, and then we take a 5-minute break while they count the ballots. Becky?
Anyone else came out?
One of the reasons we went to that.
What's that? Yeah. Becky?
We're gonna vote. You want one? Zero? Here. You already turned that. Yes, sir.
I believe they already have, I just don't have reference by doing the paper.
Have we all voted that are voting? Okay, well, while the clerks are counting that, I want to say how nice it is, I'm stepping out of my role here for a second. We have two, not eligible to vote yet, but future voters in Damariscotta. There are two ladies here today, and thank you, ladies, for bringing them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. Well, there's moms and dads here. But, you know, we have been notorious for being an older county, but this is the future back here. Young parents, young children, and yay. One of those is Andy, so credit where it's due.
Mrs. Moderator, usually at the beginning of the meeting, we bring up that out-of-towners can speak and have the vote. Because the police chief shouldn't be able to speak without voting on it. So that's normally a procedure that you say, will the town allow non-residents to speak?
Yes, we usually do. I missed the vote. I apologize. And I do believe he was just clarifying and not lobbying, so we're probably okay.
It doesn't matter with lobbying or not. It's just
Yeah, I
you
understand.
speak
I
as a
understand.
non-resident.
I missed the vote on that. I apologize.
That's right. Just
Oh.
let me know. I wasn't going to bring it up except that we had a delay in this.
No, that's okay.
Do we get, we could, so that when if we have anybody here that's out of town to speak?
Yeah. I'm not going to worry about it. Does anybody have a problem with the fact that the police chief spoke to clarify the line item? Hearing no objections, I think we're okay for now, unless we get another person.
All right,
Yeah.
have the results. I have 16 yeses and I have 13 noes.
All right, so Article 37 has passed. Right. Article 38 is to elect one cemetery trustee for a 3-year term. I will tell you there are 3 trustees, Patty Whitten, Martha Dodge, and myself, and we're staggered terms. My term expires at the end of the month, I believe. Patty.
Nominate Lorraine Fairdy as a cemetery trustee for a 3-year term.
Second.
I got you people late. All right, any other nominations for cemetery trustee? People have no idea what a fun job this is. All right, all those, we can do this with the clickers? All right, so for Lorraine Fairdy for a cemetery trustee for a 3-year term, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Whoops. Yeah, we're almost done here. Okay. Apparently, there has been a glitch. All those in favor of Lorraine? Be like the first grade. All those opposed? Put my head on the table or something. Am I elected? Okie dokie. All right, Article 38, to elect the following budget committee members for the terms listed below. The select board has nominated, is it Hisler? Ron Hisler for a term ending June 25. Heiser, sorry about that. Bruce Rockwood for a term ending June 27. Mary Devlin for a term ending June 27th. Gary Rosenthal for a term ending June 27. And Lou Abatoni for an alternate member, 1-year term. We have a motion to accept the article as written. Pat, second? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, any discussion? All those in favor of the slate as proposed? Okay. Many articles, I think. All right. All those opposed? Motion carries. It took a longer break than we did. All right, Article 40, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to spend funds from various reserve funds as they deem necessary in accordance with the capital improvement program. I have a motion to accept. So moved. Do we have a second? Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, let's try the clickers. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I don't know how to put that in the minutes. All right, Article 40, motion carries, sorry. Article 41, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to accept gifts of money, bequests, apply for and accept state and federal grants and grants from nonprofit organizations on behalf of the town for municipal purposes, including, when necessary, the authority to authorize the signing of grant contracts, accept the conditions that accompany gifts of money, bequests, and grant funds, and to appropriate and expend gifts of money, bequests, and grant funds for authorized purposes. You have a motion? Okay, see motion in a second. Second, okay. Anyone, discussion on this?
I'm wondering what happened to the worthy poor designation, and there was money, there used to be money that was in perpetuity from some Mr. and Mrs. Philbrook Trust Fund. Where did that money go, and how come there's nothing? And does that fall into this category, is my question?
So the Philbrook Fund that was left to the town is a trust fund that is managed by the select board. So the way we have it set up, Midcoast Community Action works to manage the requests and the expenditures. They check with the staff with any questions they have, whether if it's about consistency with the program, but that's all managed outside of budget because it's a trust fund that exists for a particular purpose.
Right, but we used to, I mean, last year, we voted on accepting money from that. So it's not in this year.
Correct. So the money is still available and the fund is still functioning, and Midcoast Community Action manages those expenses for us. And again, it doesn't need to be levied through the budget process because the fund already exists and the board has the right and ability to manage those funds.
And to answer your question, yeah, historically it was included on the warrant, but it wasn't necessary because it was already approved and directed.
It still
there,
exists,
still
yep.
exists, yeah.
We'll just be clarify, it's the Philbrook Fund, and it's to support, but in name it's the Philbrook Fund. I think that's something that's been brought up in the past, and just be clear that people know it's called that, and some folks don't like it being called the Worthy Poor Fund. It's right, generally to support.
The community navigator knows about it.
Right, yeah, so we work with folks that come to the office through the General Assistance Program requests. That's pretty limited in what it can offer and provide. This fund allows and goes beyond that. If someone makes more than the GA program allows through income, they're disqualified, this kind of would help supplement that, or maybe there's expenses they have that go beyond with that program. So that's really what this is. So that's one way we get to people directly. And then, yeah, there's the through CLC, the YMCA, there's a community navigator. Lincoln County is using ARPA funds to help fund and support that for that resource for every town in the county. But that's another person who knows about this fund and helps direct people to those monies.
Okay, I'm just glad to know that it still existed, because I was worried that it was gone.
Yeah.
Still there, yeah.
Great,
John?
There historically has always been an article on the warrant to see if the town will vote to accept from the Massasoit Engine Company gifts of money and certain items of equipment to be used for the benefit of the town and the Massasoit Engine Company. And this is the second year that that article hasn't appeared on the warrant. And I'd like to ask that it get returned because we do a lot of fundraising to help reduce the tax commitment that the fire department has. And Article 41 is the only way that we can effectively provide equipment to the town. So instead of, say, buying a thermal imaging camera through our private organization and just using it, we would have to go to the select board and give them a check and say, please accept this donation, and we want to use it to buy something. So I'd really like to see that article brought back next year, please.
But
Can we amend Article 41 to include that?
well, but if Article 41, as I understand it, John, is broad enough that it would include at this point. You're just saying that it would be nice to be separated out.
No, it's completely different because I can't go out and spend our money on equipment for a truck. And to make that purchase, I have to go to the select board, give them the money and have them make that purchase. It's not the same article. We can work around it, but I don't think we can amend the article to include that, but I'd like to see it next year. It's something that's been in the town works for, I think, at least 50 years.
Okay, but until next year, you have a workaround. Okay. So apparently, we can't. All right. Any other additions or corrections? Questions? All right, all those in, sorry, we're not using cards. Article 41, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 41 has passed. Article 42, to see if the town, excuse me, will vote to authorize the select board to enter multi-year contracts not to exceed 10 years for the lease or purchase of goods and services and the lease of real property or buildings when they deem it in the best financial interests of the town. Do I have a motion? Okay, do we have a second? Second. All right, any discussion as to that? Seeing none, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 42 passed. Article 43, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to set the date, hour, and place for the next annual town meeting. Second? Second, thank you. Any discussion? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 43 having passed. Article 44, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board to dispose of town-owned personal property under such terms and conditions as they deem advisable, and to appropriate the proceeds of any sale of said items to an existing operating or capital reserve account. I have a motion to approve. Hello. And a second. Second, thank you. Any discussion on that? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay. Article 45, to see if the town will vote to reappropriate money from the sale of town-owned vehicles to the respective department reserve accounts. A motion? Okay, Pat, and second? Thank you. Any discussion on that? 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right. So we've passed? Okay, Article 46, to see if the town will vote to set a date when taxes shall be paid, and if so, what rate of interest shall be charged on taxes unpaid after said date. The maximum allowable rate is 8.5%. The Select Board has recommended due dates of October 1st, 2024 and April 1st, 2025, and an interest rate of 8.5%. Do we have a motion regarding setting the tax, regarding what dates the taxes shall be paid, and if so, what interest rate? Pat, as recommended. Okay. We have a second. Thank you. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? 1, opposed, 2. Article 46 has passed. Article 47, to see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector to offer a 2025 tax club plan to taxpayers who enroll no later than July 29, 2024, who pay the total amount of the 2025 taxes by monthly payments from July 1st, 24 to April 30th, 25, who abide by the requirements of said plan, who shall receive from the town in return for such payments full credit for such taxes paid without incurring any charge of interest. To be eligible for the tax club, all 2024 taxes must be paid in full. We have a motion on this article and a second. Okay. Any discussion?
I'm unfamiliar with the term tax club.
It's you can, if you meet these, as I understand it, if you meet the requirements as specified, you can pay in installments, monthly installments, without getting interest charged. Okay, is that okay? All right, any other questions or discussion? Kind of like a Christmas club, you know. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Article 48, to see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector to accept prepayments of taxes not yet committed and to pay an interest rate of 0% as a courtesy to taxpayers who wish to prepay some or all of their uncommitted taxes. We have a motion. People can prepay here? Thank you. Second? Okay. Any discussion?
Does anybody do that? They do?
Yes, some people get their taxes in April, their refund, and then they just come and pay their property taxes. So, and we don't have permission to cut that.
So the answer is yes, some people do use this clause. All right, 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right, Article 49, to see if the town will vote to set the interest rates at 4.5% to be paid by the town on prepaid abated taxes pursuant to 36 MRSA Section 506A, which says, a taxpayer who pays an amount in excess of that finally assessed must be repaid the amount of the overpayment plus interest from the date of the overpayment at a rate to be established by the municipality. The rate of interest may not exceed the interest rate established by the municipality for delinquent taxes, or may it be less than the rate reduced by 4 percentage points. If a municipality fails to establish a rate of interest for overpayment of taxes, it shall pay interest at the rate established for delinquent taxes, which, as you recall, was 8.5%. Do we have a motion to accept Article 49 as written? Pat, second? Okay, there's a second over here. Any discussion? 1 for yes, 2 for no. All right, and last but not least, Article 50, to see if the town will vote to authorize the select board on behalf of the town to sell and dispose of any real estate acquired by the town for non-payment of taxes thereon, on such terms as they deem advisable, and to execute quitclaim deeds thereon, except that the municipal officers shall use the special sale process required by 36 MRS 943-C for qualifying homestead property if they choose to sell it to anyone other than the former owners. The property may be sold back to the original owner for all taxes due, plus interest and all costs, without the advertisement requirement. Have a motion to accept Article 50 as proposed, sir? Yes, and a second? Any discussion on this? All right, last chance. 1 for yes, 2 for no. There. All right. I think that we have a motion to adjourn the annual town meeting. Pat? I'll second it. I never get to second anything.
Just as a point of clarification, there is a presentation following this town meeting about the comprehensive plan and where that is. Currently, recently, a first draft of this plan has been publicly released. You might have gotten a postcard in the mail, so we'll take a few minutes for anyone that is leaving or to drop off your clickers, and we'll have the folks set up for that presentation if anyone's interested in staying to learn more about that.
Hearing no objection to the motion, the meeting is adjourned.